Hello. Welcome to my channel. I'm doing a new series on astrology and tarot intuitive insights. I'm starting with the new moon in Taurus, May 16th, 2026. I use sidereal astrology, which is Jyotish from the Vedic tradition. And we start with Aries on the South Indian chart. We go all the way around to Pisces here. Our new moon, May 16th in the USA, is in the sign of Taurus, sidereal calculations. We have the sun, the moon, the rising sign, and Mercury is sitting with the sun and moon in Taurus for this new moon. For Taurus, the ruler of the sign of Taurus is Venus. Venus, currently in the sky, is in Gemini, the second house from Taurus. The first lord in the second house talks about a month related to values, really focusing on what are my personal values, how do I value myself, how much do I value my identity, and how can I feed my identity. The sun for Taurus rules the fourth house. So the fourth lord in the first house talks about becoming identified with the homeland and traditions that you grew up with, or really thinking about your home life and how that affects your identity. The moon for Taurus rules Cancer, and that's the third house. So the third lord in the first house this month for Taurus is talking about third house things related to our communication, our day-to-day activities, our routines, our close siblings and relations. Coincidentally, all things that Mercury is the signifier for as well. So Mercury with the third lord is a repeat of this. Mercury for Taurus rules the second and fifth houses. So Mercury's ruling our values, the things that we love, the things that we put care into, and that bring us joy. So as a repeat of the themes, we're talking about an exchange of values and identity, and what lights us up, what brings us joy, and how can I make that more of part of my identity. And you see in the center here, I've listed the planets, and I've listed them in a specific order. The South Indian chart is a good example of the Skye chakra theory of Vedic astrology. Saturn rules Aquarius and Capricorn. Jupiter rules Pisces and Sagittarius. Mars rules Aries and Scorpio. Venus rules Taurus and Libra. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. The moon rules Cancer, and the sun rules Leo. And these correlate to our own personal chakras. So the energies that we're receiving from outside of us, from the planets, are directly harmonizing and interacting with the energies that come from within us, from our own elemental systems. So in a minute, I'm going to do this same spread, but I'm using tarot, and we're going to be looking at how your energetic chakras are responding to this exterior stimuli. Again, thank you so much for coming with me on this novel adventure. Just a moment while I focus my energies. I pre-shuffled your cards and pulled them out before I turned the camera on. Taurus for May. I'm using, and I'm using the Voyager tarot. My favorite. I have a repeat of the chakra system here, from Saturn to the Sun, from the root to the crown. So for our root card, we have 10 of Cups, passion. What this is making me think of is the fact that Saturn is in the sky right now, is in the sign of Pisces. Pisces is a water sign, and our card here is a water sign. And Saturn is in good dignity right now in the sign of Pisces. In fact, all of the planets are in quite good dignity. It's a very auspicious time in the heavens right now. Saturn and the root chakra for your spread, showing what you are working on in the physical world, what you are securing, what you are establishing in your concrete world. And the 10 of Cups in the root position, showing that you're building a life that can be passionate. You're building a life that you love. You're building a life that really lights you up and brings you joy. Reflecting back again on that 5th Lord in the 1st house. Saturn doesn't rule a water sign. He rules an air sign and an earth sign. But he gets along quite well in Pisces. There is a little bit of conflict between Saturn's desire for structure and precision and known expectations, and Pisces's Jupiterian side, which wants to expand, have hope, and doesn't always require a practical foundation at the bottom of that expansion. But one of the lunar mansions within Pisces in the Vedic system is called Uttara Bhadrapada, and it is ruled by both Saturn and Jupiter. And the combination of Saturn and Jupiter gives the capacity to have enough internal discipline to expand outward without expanding the limits of one's own capacity. It brings rewards for internal discipline and hardship that has been secured in the past. So it's really like an end and a beginning sign. 10 of Cups is like the last number in the series, so we're a completion of a completion to happy challenges. In the Swadhisthana center, the 2nd chakra ruled by Jupiter, excuse me, it's the the body, the place in our energetic body that wants to be attached, wants to grow, wants to reproduce, all things related to Jupiter. You've pulled the High Priestess card. What this is making me think of, we have Jupiter and Gemini in the sky right now. Jupiter's not entirely comfortable in Gemini, but this is related to what you want to create in the world. And we'll have to get a little more detail on that, but your creative capacity is going towards intuitive function, and maybe that's a second house value thing. Maybe that's valuing your dignity so much that you focus more time and attention onto your intuitive life. I don't know, we'll have to see. In the Manipura center, ruled by Mars, or the solar plexus chakra, the seat of your strength, will, courage, and independence, you've drawn the Four of Crystals, or the Logic card. Mars is in very good dignity right now. In the sky, Mars is in Aries, his home sign, which means he has great dignity, and the elements of Mars are enhanced at this time. Mars is a very logical planet. Very logical, disciplined, courageous, and willful. And this shows that your interior energy is in harmony with that energy coming from the cosmos, that Mars dignity. So you have logic at your disposal to make very good choices right now and take action on those choices. In the Anahata, or the heart center, the heart chakra, you've drawn the card Two of Wands, or purity. The heart chakra is a place of respect, union, balancing our needs with other needs. Its rulership is the planet Venus. The Two of Wands energy for the heart chakra right now is showing me that what you were focusing on in the area of Venus, Venus being in the sky, in the sign of Gemini with Jupiter, is this discernment of what is the most ideal pleasure for me right now. No doubt Venus rules pleasures, and with a Jupiter that's a little bit uncomfortable in Gemini, that could be a little bit of a question mark, like, should I expand into one area or the other area? Can I fulfill all of my desires right now, or do I need to fulfill a balance of desires? And the Two of Wands is showing that you are using that discernment to increase your own personal value from the second house. You're focusing on the pleasurable aspects that will be the most dignified for your personal experience right now in the second house. For the throat chakra, Ajna, Vishuddha, the throat chakra. The throat chakra is ruled by Mercury, and you've drawn the Woman of Cups rejoicer in the throat chakra. Mercury is with this new moon in the first house for Taurus, in the sign of Taurus. What I'm getting from this is that your discrimination, your curiosity, your humor, your flexibility, you're feeling very playful right now. You're feeling very empowered by both the sun and the moon to enjoy yourself. Enjoyment of self is the first house. To experience life. Like I can see like the rain falling down on her face, and she's sensually absorbing the experiences of life through the body. I really feel Mercury must be delighted this month to be with the sun and the moon. It's lit up. And it is in the sign of a great friend, so that's good dignity for Mercury, actually. Like I said, we're very blessed with good dignity of the planets this month. The next chakra is third eye. Third eye chakra, ajna, which in some traditions is ruled by the moon. I'm going with that interpretation here. The third eye chakra rules your intuitive capacity, your sensitivity to spirit, to your ability to envision the non-physical and be swayed by the non-earthly information, receive non-earthly information. You've drawn the card of balance, which is 8. I think that relates to justice in the regular tarot. What I'm getting for this moon in Taurus in the first house, we have repeated themes this month with first house exchange with second house, identity exchange with values, purity, logic, high priestess. What I see here is that the moon is in good dignity. It is balanced, and astrologically, in the sign of Taurus, the moon is in good dignity and balanced. In fact, the favored place for the moon is early degrees of sidereal Taurus, and mid degrees of Taurus are also quite favored for the moon, as moon rules Rohini Nakshatra. So this is another expression of dignity. It's sort of mirroring this high priestess energy, which is aligning the identity with a dignity of values. Last but not least, the crown chakra position ruled by the sun, and with the new moon, sun in Taurus, you've drawn the card 3 of Wands, compassion. I really been meditating on this for a minute. The traditional interpretation of 3 of Wands is you'll see a person with 3 staffs looking out over the ocean, waiting for their ships to come in. This interpretation of the card is more of like the emotional flavor behind the 3 of Wands. The person who's on the shore knows that their boats are coming in. They have patience. They can be calm. They can trust God. They can trust the universe to deliver the good things that are coming to them. And in that posture, compassion is possible. We can see the suffering of all beings in the world, They might be in high dignity, they might be in low dignity. They might be struggling in the world, they might be on top of the world. And the compassion to know that we are not identifying ourselves with our position in life, but we're just here experiencing the moment, is a real truth that the sun brings through our crown chakra. When we connect with source, when we connect with bliss, truth, true radiance from the non-local spirit that connects everything. Well, thank you. I decided to close this reading. I draw from Alana Fairchild's White Light Oracle. And Taurus, the card you've pulled for the month is 40, Sovereign, Queen Maeve. I really like how this ties into the first and second house themes we have going on today about identity and value. Let's read a little bit more. At the portal between everyday reality and the rapture of unchecked aliveness stands Sovereign Queen Maeve. She is an initiatrix, taking us beyond the constraints of polite moralism and into the bliss, sacred passion, grit, and astuteness needed to cultivate and protect the light. Goddess, warrior, queen of the Fae, and fearless guardian and protector of territory, Maeve is wild and determined. She stimulates confidence, encouraging one not to shy away, but rather to assertively engage with life and claim your true place in the world. She encourages us to refuse to allow our sacred territory to be intruded upon by unworthy rulers, whether they be critical voices in our own mind or ego-driven interlopers. Maeve is the instinct to engage when challenged, to call on recruits, and to use all the inner wisdom and talent at your disposal so you can assert the light and refuse to be put down or denied your rightful place. Protecting territory from a spiritual perspective is unlike the grasping and self-serving of the ego that wishes to obtain whatever it can for its own benefit. This world needs souls who are willing and able to hold sacred space and refuse to allow it to become contaminated by greed, jealousy, hate, or confusion. This is an act of courage and selflessness. Such an act of courage serves all beings. To be a son or daughter of Maeve requires some spiritual chops. It takes feisty refusal to be dominated or controlled. It also takes the wisdom to recognize that one can lovingly accept all that is without judgment, whilst discerning when and how to set a firm boundary, lest sacred space be trampled upon and defiled by ignorance. Sovereignty is self-possession. It is the belonging to oneself that happens internally as we claim our being and commit to our unique life journey. True spiritual sovereignty exists outside of social mores. It is not about becoming subversive or disrespectful to others, but rather about seeking out freedom of being. This leads you to naturally becoming an active presence, which dismantles enslaving social mores and stimulates society to mature spiritually. This oracle asks you to come home to yourself again and again. Know you are strong enough to live your life and chart your course in communion with the sacred. In Sanskrit, Raj is self-rule, and as the meaning of Raj is also radiance, it can also mean self-luminous. Do not allow your destiny to rest in the hands of others. Recognize that the light within is your true ruler. You have the power to light yourself up with spirit. Commit to what you can do and believe the realms of the divine are working with you. Do not be dissuaded. You shall be victorious. Thank you so much for coming with me on this social experiment while I read cards for you and astrology. It has been an honor and a privilege. I'll see you in the next one.